The Casagrandes is one of the standout Nickelodeon cartoons in recent years. This animated series, which debuted in 2019, brings the warmth, humor, and chaos of a large loving family to life, all while showcasing the vibrant culture and traditions of the Casagrande family. In this video, I will recap the 3 seasons and 60 episodes of the Casagrandes. In the first episode of the series, the Casagrande household is busy with various activities when Frida announces an upcoming art gallery opportunity. Meanwhile, Ronnie Ann discovers scratches on her skateboard and becomes determined to find the culprit. That night, a hooded figure steals her skateboard, and Ronnie Ann chases them down, only to discover it's Carlos, her uncle. Carlos reveals he was a skilled skateboarder in college, nicknamed Carlos X, but stopped after marrying Frida due to her concerns for his safety. Ronnie Ann convinces Carlos to secretly teach her skateboarding tricks. Over the next few nights, Carlos becomes increasingly tired, trying to hide their activities from Frida. During a daring stunt at the skate park, Carlos breaks his foot. To cover it up, Ronnie Ann camouflages his injury with Carlota's furry boots. However, at Frida's art installation, Carlos's injury is revealed, and he admits to secretly skateboarding with Ronnie Ann. Frida is initially upset, but understands after Romeo, the gallery owner and a fan of Carlos X, intervenes. In a second art installation, Frida creates a half-pipe with paint sprayers. Ronnie Ann and Romeo perform tricks to create a mural of Carlos, leaving the audience impressed. The episode ends with Romeo injuring himself, but proudly honoring Carlos X. In the next episode, the Casagrande family prepares for Day of the Dead, decorating and creating an ofrenda to honor Rosa's late father, Lazaro. Ronnie Ann and Sid, intrigued by the tradition, decide to help Adelaide, who's grieving her pet frog, Froggy. They create an ofrenda with Froggy's favorite things, but Adelaide becomes sad, realizing it won't bring Froggy back. To cheer her up, Ronnie Ann and Sid rent a frog from a pet store and pretend it's Froggy, which initially makes Adelaide happy. However, Adelaide later decides to celebrate with other deceased figures, including her great-aunt Millie and Abraham Lincoln. Ronnie Ann, Sid, and Carlos dress up to play along, but their disguises fail, leading Adelaide to resent the holiday. Rosa steps in, explaining the true meaning of Day of the Dead, honoring loved ones who live on in the heart. This comforts Adelaide, and Pete, the pet store owner, allows Adelaide to keep the frog after it follows a trail of bacon bits back to the apartment. The Casagrande and Chang families celebrate together, and a photo reveals the spirits of Lazaro and Froggy. Meanwhile, Carlos, still spreading marigold petals, unknowingly ends up outside the Loud House in Royal Woods, Michigan. In the next episode, the Casagrande family plans family outing, and CJ suggests going to pirate dinner show. Though hesitant at first, the family agrees after Ronnie Ann promises to help CJ get chosen to raise the pirate flag during the performance, a role he's always wanted but never gets. At the show, CJ and Ronnie Ann face obstacles, including a boy named Ralphie who consistently gets picked by pretending it's his birthday. Despite Ronnie Ann and CJ's efforts to get Captain Dave's attention, Ralphie tricks his way into being chosen again, frustrating Ronnie Ann. She confronts Captain Dave on stage, leading to chaos as CJ and the family join her. During the commotion, Captain Dave accidentally gets launched out of the building. With the show in jeopardy, CJ steps up, impressing the actors with his knowledge of the performance. He takes on the role of captain, battling Ralphie in a staged sword fight. CJ wins and helps Ralphie back up, showing kindness by declaring that a pirate never leaves anyone behind. CJ finally gets to raise the flag, earning applause from the audience and making the show a huge success. Afterward, the family congratulates CJ, and Ralphie apologizes for his earlier behavior. The birthday girl reclaims her stolen hat by stomping on Ralphie's foot, leaving everyone with a laugh as the family celebrates CJ's big moment. In the next episode, Ronnie Ann is thrilled to learn that her father, Arturo, is visiting Great Lake City for work and hopes to convince him to move there permanently. After a warm reunion at the airport, Arturo spends time with the Casagrande family, sharing stories about his life in Peru. Despite Ronnie Ann's efforts to make him feel at home, Arturo explains that his work helping patients in Peru is too important to leave. Frustrated, Ronnie Ann devises a plan to make Arturo believe she needs his help, hoping it will convince him to stay. She first pretends to struggle in school, but Arturo offers to tutor her remotely. She then stages a scene where she appears to be a troublemaker with her friends. Seeing how much effort Ronnie Ann is putting into making him stay, Arturo decides to stay for her sake. However, Ronnie Ann later finds thank you letters from Arturo's patients and realizes the impact he has in Peru. Moved by his dedication, she tells him she understands if he must return. The next day, the family bids Arturo farewell, and Ronnie Ann gives him a scrapbook of their time together. Later, Arturo calls to reveal he's staying after securing a job at headquarters and arranging for a colleague to take over his duties in Peru. Overjoyed, the family celebrates with a group hug, just as Maria returns from the spa, wondering what she missed. In the next episode, Ronnie Ann announces the reopening of the public pool, exciting everyone except Carl, who tries to avoid going with increasingly wild excuses. At the pool, Carl continues to avoid the water, but after Bobby, the lifeguard throws him in, Carl reveals that he doesn't know how to swim. He admits that his previous swimming classes were faked using a stunt double. Bobby offers to teach Carl to swim in exchange for Carl teaching him to tie his shoes, and Carl reluctantly agrees. Their lessons are initially unsuccessful, leading to frustration and a brief fallout. However, during a family pool photo, Bobby pretends someone pooped in the pool, using a chocolate bar, to give Carl an excuse not to swim. This act of understanding helps the two reconcile, and they resume teaching each other. Both eventually succeed. Carl learns to swim, and Bobby masters tying his shoes. The next day, as the family enjoys the pool, Ronnie Ann reveals she knew about the swim lessons, but not Bobby's supposed inability to tie his shoes. Bobby admits he lied to spare Carl's embarrassment, but his tied-together shoelaces cause him to trip into the pool, where another lifeguard has to rescue him. In the Season 1 finale, the Casagrande family eagerly prepares for Ernesto Estrella's book signing, only for Ernesto to cancel, claiming Great Lake City is bad luck. Rosa takes his words seriously, saging the house and forbidding the family from leaving. To prove the city is safe, Ronnie Ann and the kids film a video, but Sergio's antics make it appear dangerous. When Rosa sees the video, she insists the family must leave the city, leading them to temporarily stay with the Louds in Royal Woods. Living with the Louds proves chaotic due to overcrowding, long bathroom lines, and uncomfortable sleeping arrangements. Ronnie Ann devises a plan to show Rosa that bad luck can happen anywhere, but Rosa misinterprets this and declares the family itself is cursed. She decides to move them to the woods. At Flip's Food and Fuel, Ronnie Ann overhears Ernesto admitting he lied about the city being cursed to avoid embarrassment over a pimple. Furious, she forces him to cleanse the family in front of Rosa. Ernesto performs a staged ritual convincing Rosa that the bad luck is gone. Grateful, Rosa thanks him and decides to return to Great Lake City, much to the family's relief. As they leave, a mishap at the gas station occurs, but Rosa dismisses it, saying that could happen to anybody. In the first episode of Season 2, Carl wants an El Falcon Fortress toy, but Frida tells him he'll have to wait until his birthday, which is 9 months away. Inspired by Carlota's vlog career, Carl starts a toy unboxing channel to get free toys from companies. His initial attempts fail, but with Carlota's help, he finds a gimmick, fighting with Sergio over the toys. Their channel, Get Your Own, becomes a hit, and they start receiving boxes of toys to review. A woman named Monica from Super Duper Awesome Toys offers Carl and Sergio a partnership, requiring Hector's signature to seal the deal. Soon, their home overflows with toy deliveries, and Carl's commitment to the channel makes him miss out on fun family activities. When Carl decides he wants to quit, Monica threatens to sue the family if he breaks the contract. Carl, feeling trapped, plans a bold move with Carlota's help. In a live episode, Carl receives the El Falcon Fortress he always wanted, but publicly criticizes the toy for its poor quality, even destroying it on camera. Monica, enraged, tears up the contract and cuts ties with Carl and Sergio. Relieved, Carl happily counts down to his birthday to finally get the fortress for real. In the next episode, when Ronnie Ann and Bobby discover from Maria's old yearbook that she dreamed of traveling the world, they feel guilty that she gave up her dream to raise them. Determined to make it happen, they try to win her a trip around the world through various competitions. Their attempts include spinning a prize wheel, winning a fridge instead of a trip to Korea, eating a giant pizza, winning a pizza shaped like Italy instead of a trip, and even entering a sumo wrestling match using the fridge as a contestant, which loses to the champion. Finally, they join a dance marathon with the family to win the grand prize. But Ronnie Ann and Bobby are disqualified after Bobby collapses from exhaustion, leaving Mrs. Kernicki and Mr. Scully as the winners. When Maria returns home, Ronnie Ann and Bobby explain their efforts to help her fulfill her dream. Maria is touched but assures them that raising them has been her greatest adventure. However, she mentions she'd still love to experience different cultures with them, inspiring Ronnie Ann and Bobby to create a vacation around the world in Great Lake City. The three visit local spots representing different cultures, enjoying activities like tossing pizza, attending a tea ceremony, and listening to traditional music. At the end of the day, Maria thanks her kids for the memorable experience and shares her photos with the family. In the next episode, Carlota prepares for her hairstyling test to earn her certificate and secure a summer job at a celebrity spa. To practice, she persuades Carl to let her cut his hair, but accidentally shaves it off. When CJ restores Carl's hair perfectly, Carlota enlists him to teach her hairstyling. Despite multiple failed attempts, Carlota finally masters Margarita's hairstyle with CJ's guidance. On the day of the test, Margarita requests a new hairstyle instead of her usual one. Struggling, Carlota relies on CJ, who cuts the hair while Margarita wears a sleep mask. Margarita loves the result and grants Carlota her certificate. However, Margarita immediately requests Carlota's Carlito's help for a bridal party the next day, leaving her in a tough spot. CJ offers to assist. At the salon, CJ and Carlota handle the bridesmaids while Margarita works on the bride and her father. CJ secretly cuts everyone's hair while Carlota takes credit. During the bride haircut, Sergio exposes CJ as the real stylist using his camera's night vision. Carlota admits she's not ready for hairstyling and returns her certificate, but Margarita offers her a solution. Later, CJ becomes the salon's hairstylist while Carlota works as an assistant, learning from him. Margarita promises that after training with CJ, Carlota will be ready to earn her certificate for real. The episode ends humorously with Carl being tricked into leaving the salon when he expects CJ to cut his hair. In the next episode, on Christmas Eve, the Casagrandes prepare for the final night of Las Posadas. However, their plans are disrupted when neighbors with ruined holiday plans arrived seeking help. Rosa invites everyone in, leaving Ronnie and Bobby frustrated as their plans for caroling are postponed. Meanwhile, Arturo faces chaos at High and By, repeatedly sent back for more masa to accommodate the growing guest list. Determined to save Christmas, Ronnie and Bobby help fix their neighbors' holiday plans, from hosting a virtual call for Vito to staging a Hawaiian-themed celebration. They then call Arturo to return, but he gets trapped in the store under a tower of masa and is locked inside. Ronnie and Bobby go to rescue Arturo but face icy sidewalks, angry neighbors in a snowball fight, and eventually get trapped in the store with him by a snowplow. Just as they lose hope, the Casagrandes and their neighbors arrive to save them, repaying Ronnie and Bobby's earlier kindness. To celebrate, everyone joins the Casagrandes for caroling, singing to various townspeople before returning to the apartment for a festive party. As the festivities continue, the Louds arrive, seeking shelter after their van breaks down. The episode ends humorously with Arturo reluctantly sent back to the store for more masa, leaving everyone laughing. In the next episode, at Joe's Arcade, Carlitos spots a stuffed penguin named Mr. Fluff in a claw machine and dreams of making him his new best friend. Back home, Carlitos becomes determined to rescue Mr. Fluff after seeing visions of the penguin asking for help. Disguised in a hollowed-out teddy bear, Carlitos sneaks out of the apartment, evades Lalo, and makes his way to the arcade using Laird's skateboard. At the arcade, Carlitos manages to enter the claw machine and reunites with Mr. Fluff, but their escape is thwarted when Vito wins both of them. Vito intends to make them chew toys for his dogs, Big Tony and Little Sal. Carlitos flees with Mr. Fluff, narrowly escaping the dogs in the park. Meanwhile, Lalo drags Carlos around the city, trying to alert him to Carlitos' escape. In the park, Carlitos hides from both the dogs and the family. Spotting Alexis, who's upset about losing at the claw machine, Carlitos gives Mr. Fluff to Alexis to save him from the dogs. Sergio and Sancho arrive and help Carlitos return to his crib undetected. Lalo, seeing this, rushes back home to maintain the ruse that Carlitos was asleep the whole time. Back at the apartment, Carlos and Frida scold Lalo for his strange behavior and waking up Carlitos. Alexis then arrives, explaining he found a stuffed penguin at the park and wants to cheer up Carlitos by giving it to him. Carlitos is thrilled to reunite with Mr. Fluff. As Carlitos happily plays with his new friend, Lalo tries to reveal the truth with Carlitos' teddy bear disguise, but is scolded again for supposedly destroying it. In the season 2 finale, as the Great Lakes City Music Festival approaches, Carlota gets a call from pop star Alyssa Barella, who wants her to do her makeup again. Seeing an opportunity to strengthen their friendship, Carlota invites Alyssa to her apartment for lunch, sneaking her out of the hotel past her controlling agent, Blaze. Alyssa enjoys the day with the Casagrandes, reminiscing about a simpler life. Meanwhile, Ronnie Ann and Sid, excited to learn that 12 is Midnight is staying at the same hotel as Alyssa, embark on a mission to meet Yun Kwan and get his autograph. After lunch, Alyssa announces she's quitting the music business to live a normal life, shocking Carlota, who fears losing her connection to fame. Carlota and Carl sabotage Alyssa's normal life to make it seem unappealing, but Alyssa discovers their plan and leaves upset. At the hotel, Ronnie Ann and Sid accidentally cause Yun Kwan to lose his memory while sneaking into his rehearsal. They bring him to the Casagrande apartment, hoping to help him regain his identity. On the rooftop, 12 as Midnight arrives via helicopter and restores Yun's memories through a song, inspiring him to write a new one. Alyssa joins in the performance, reigniting her passion for music. Realizing she still loves performing, Alyssa decides not to quit, but vows to take control of her career. Blaze attempts to intervene, but Alyssa dismisses him with the help of Carl's pet spider. Grateful for their support, Alyssa invites the Casagrandes to the festival's after party, and Yun gives Ronnie Ann and Sid his autograph before leaving with his bandmates. The girls declare it the best day ever as the episode ends with music and celebration. In the first episode of season 3, the Casagrandes cheer for their favorite soccer team, the Gatos, in a championship game. After a chance encounter with the team's star player, Picosito, Hector becomes convinced that rubbing his head brings the Gatos good luck. Picosito's successful goal after rubbing Hector's head further cements this belief, and Hector's declared the team's good luck charm. Before the next game, the Gatos players rub Hector's head, but the team performs poorly. Hector, fearing his luck has run out, enlists Rosa to help him regain it through remedies, sage, and even a doll from Ernesto Estrella's shop, but the Gatos still struggle. The family realizes Hector's luck comes from his jalapeno pattern underwear, which Carlos had accidentally taken. Rosa and Carlos rush to deliver them to Hector at the stadium. With his lucky underwear back, Hector chases Picosito for another head rub, but ends up causing a chaotic scene. Despite this, Picosito scores 6 goals in the final minutes, leading to Gatos to dramatic victory. The team and fans celebrate Hector as their lucky charm. Later, the Gatos visit the Mercado to thank Hector, gifting him the winning ball. In return, Hector and Rosa present the team with a jalapeno pattern underwear, humorously made from real jalapenos. In the next episode, Rosa hears Ernesto Estrella predict that water signs will find lifetime happiness if they reunite with their ex by the end of the day. Believing this applies to Maria and Arturo, Rosa convinces Ronnie and Bobby to make it happen. Maria is busy helping Frida with an art installation, and Arturo is about to leave for a medical convention, but Ronnie and Bobby scheme to bring them both to the pier where they had their first date. After a series of comedic mishaps, Maria and Arturo reach the pier, but Maria rolls into the ocean and is rescued by T-Bone, a roadie she once dated. T-Bone invites Maria to a pizza restaurant, forcing Ronnie and Bobby to intervene. They sabotage the dinner by giving T-Bone garlic breath and serving him a pineapple pizza, exploiting his fear of pineapples. T-Bone flees, leaving Arturo to sit with Maria, but their conversation remains casual. Frustrated by the lack of romantic sparks, Bobby ties Maria and Arturo together with spaghetti, prompting Maria and Arturo to explain that they're happy being co-parents and friends. They reassure Ronnie and Bobby that their family bond is the source of lifetime happiness. The episode ends with the Santiago family sharing a heartfelt hug, and Ernesto, watching from outside, declares his fortune fulfilled. In the next episode, on Halloween night, the Casagrande kids dressed in costumes place a bet. Whoever collects the most candy while trick-or-treating gets everyone else's candy. Carlitos and Sergio are excluded from the competition, leaving them frustrated. During their candy hunt, the kids ignore a warning sign on a candy bowl about the candy goblin and take the entire bowl. Back at the apartment, strange events unfold as the lights go out, and the candy goblin appears, demanding the stolen candy back. Refusing to give up their candy, the kids barricade themselves but are relentlessly pursued by the candy goblin, who eventually kidnaps Carlitos as leverage. The kids, realizing they must save their youngest sibling, reluctantly decide to return the stolen candy. At the house where they took the candy, the kids find the bowl inside a spooky room. After returning the stolen candy, the candy goblin demands all their candy as further punishment. Left with no choice, they comply, and Carlitos is returned. Before leaving, the candy goblin warns them to bring him candy next Halloween, scaring them away. Back at the Mercado, the kids recount their harrowing experience, but the adults dismiss it as imagination. They apologize to Carlitos for excluding him and promise to include him next year. Later that night, Carlitos sneaks into the rooftop, where the candy goblin, revealed to be Sergio and Sancho in disguise, celebrates their prank. However, the real candy goblin suddenly appears, terrifying the trio. In the next episode, Rosa surprises Ronnie Ann during a girls' day out by announcing her plans to start preparing Ronnie Ann's quinceañera, despite it being over 3 years away. Horrified at the prospect of spending every Saturday planning for the event, Ronnie Ann tries various tactics to distract Rosa, enlisting Nico the monkey to create diversions, convincing Rosa to work at a tamale truck, and even using Carl to pose as Ernesto Estrella to warn against Saturday planning. However, each attempt backfires, with Rosa only intensifying her planning efforts. With Sid's encouragement, Ronnie Ann tries to give Rosa a taste of her own medicine by making her experience the over-the-top plans firsthand. This only leaves Rosa to escalate further, canceling Ronnie Ann's skateboarding camp and creating an even larger binder for the party. Overwhelmed, Ronnie Ann confronts Rosa, accidentally involving Maria, who reveals that Rosa's obsession stems from never having her own quinceañera due to financial struggles. Moved by this revelation, Ronnie Ann organizes a surprise belated quinceañera for Rosa at El Palacio, with the Casagrandes and Changs in attendance. Touched by the gesture, Rosa thanks Ronnie Ann for fulfilling her lifelong dream and promises to stop obsessively planning her quinceañera. The episode ends with everyone enjoying the celebration. In the next episode, Ronnie Ann and Sid are thrilled to be extras in a 12's Midnight music video, but strange events occur at the spooky GLC concert hall. Floating objects, glowing lights, and eerie piano music disrupt the shoot, scaring away the extras. Ronnie Ann calls Lincoln and Clyde for help, and the boys arrive with ghost hunting gear. As the group investigates, they discover a ghost haunting the concert hall. The ghost starts possessing instruments and turning band members into them, forcing everyone to flee. Using a playback of the rehearsals, they identify the ghost as Narciso Grillo, a classical musician who dislikes dislikes pop music and sabotages performances at the hall. To appease Narciso, the band decides to play his symphony. On stage, Yun Quan and the band perform the symphony, impressing Narciso. Realizing he misjudged them, Narciso reverses the transformations and allows 12 as Midnight to finish their music video. Lincoln and Clyde step in as directors, and Narciso even joins the band for a special jam session, combining classical and pop music. The episode ends with Narciso using his ghostly powers to levitate everyone while the band performs, prompting Sid to remind everyone to fangirl out, leading to excited screams and cheers. In the series finale, the Casagrande family is preparing for Carlitos' christening, but Carlos struggles to choose the perfect padrino. After failed attempts with Romeo and Mr. Nakamura, Carlos witnesses Vito save Carlitos from an accident at the park and decides to make him the padrino. However, Carlos quickly becomes concerned about Vito's over-involvement in Carlitos' life, such as dressing him like himself and monitoring him with a baby monitor. Determined to prevent Vito from attending the christening, Carlos sabotages his plans by hiding Vito's phone and wallet and ensuring his scooter gets towed. On the day of the christening, Vito arrives late but still eager to hold Carlitos. Carlos tries to stop him, resulting in a chaotic scuffle that ends with Carlitos flying into the cake. Upset, Vito leaves after hearing Carlos' hurtful comments. Realizing his mistake, Carlos apologizes to Vito, acknowledging that his care and dedication make him the perfect padrino. The episode concludes with Carlitos being christened and the family, including Vito, happily taking a group photo together. And just like that, the whole story of the Casagrande family comes to an end. Who's your favorite character? You can write in the comments. If you liked the video, you can subscribe to my channel and punch the like button. See you in the next video. Goodbye.